Steve Whitman.
Okay. Otto Beatty is not here. Mike Lusk.
I'm here, present.
Okay. Bob Loversage.
Here.
Dana Magnachi.
Here.
Ted Hardesty.
Here.
Tony Slanik. No. Danny Palmore. Danny? No? Okay, we have a quorum.
Okay. Let's go ahead and swear in the City of Columbus staff people, please. Would you identify yourselves, please?
Louis Taba.
Nolan, are you a staff person from the City of Columbus, or are you going to speak?
He won't be speaking.
Okay, so we have Louis. Do you swear and affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? If so, say, I do.
I do.
Thank you very much. Next order of business would be to confirm the minutes from the last meeting, I believe. I did not have the agenda in front of me, so I'm winging it.
I'll pull it up for you.
Let's go. Let's go. I think we've done this a couple times, haven't we, Bob?
I think so. I move approval of the minutes.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Are there any questions, comments, additions, or deletions? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
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 Aye. That motion carries. Minutes are approved. Do we have any other pre-business business? Or are we on to the cases, Louis?
We are on to the cases.
Okay, with that, let's just go to the first case, please. First application.
Okay. Give me a moment here. My computer's freezing
Take your
up.
time.
Freezing up a little bit.
Well, it's awful cold out there today.
All right, here we go. So the first application is for DC 2011-008, 150 North 3rd Street. So the location is, let me pull it up here for you. Here's the location here at the intersection of North 3rd and East Long.
I've got a, before we even get into the applicant on this, I've got a question. Why are we calling this a graphic? It's really kind of an on-building address sign, isn't it?
It's a large wall sign. So, I mean, we would categorize that as a graphic in general.
And is it on, I couldn't tell, is it on the wall or is it a kind of a blade sign?
It's on the wall. It's on the wall. So what they're proposing is a wall sign on the north elevation of the building. It'll measure 7.5 feet by 37 feet and be internally illuminated channel letters. The sign will say at 150 with each number measuring 8 feet tall. The guidelines say that commercial signage should be pedestrian oriented and succinct messages in an aesthetically balanced manner are encouraged. Building should not be dominated by graphics. And there is no specific area requirement, but wall signs should be proportional to the building in which they are attached. The proposal generally meets the guidelines with regards to design and message. However, staff has some concerns regarding the size of the graphic.
Now, if we call this a graphic, then again, excuse me, before we get into the case, does this mean that they can come back later and say they want to have an advertisement of some kind or graphic? I mean, is this now approved as a graphic as opposed to, for example, a building sign?
It's not an ad mural. It's not an ad mural, right?
That's correct. It's not an ad mural. I'm sorry, this is really lagging. There we go. It's not an ad mural, but the city considers any kind of signage like this a graphic. That's just how it's categorized. Something like this would have to go to the graphics commission if it was in any other part of the city and it was looking for a variance. So we call it a graphics.
Okay,
yeah.
So this does not give them the ability to come back and say, I want to have an advertising mural on this.
Not at all. No, we're just approving this sign and this sign only.
Okay, thank you very much, and I'm sorry to interrupt. And
no problem.
You finish up, and then we can go to the applicant.
Yeah, I'm all done. Oh, I do have some pictures here for you. We can take a look at. So I did do a site visit of the location, and yeah, that this lags. There we go. So these are the buildings. The blade sign will go right here between the two buildings. There's a recessed area. You can see here it is. There's some balconies behind there. Here it is from the other angle. You see there's a gap between the two buildings. It'll be on this wall here on the right. You can see the view from the sidewalk. You can't really see it from the sidewalk when you're right up walking towards the buildings, but you can see it as you come closer. And that's it.
Is the applicant here today?
Should be.
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes. Could you identify yourself, please? Oh, Tom Branham. Okay.
Yes, I'm Tom Branham with Branham Sign Company.
Tom, I need to swear you in. Is there anyone else here from the applicant?
There should be, he's on there, but I don't see him. There he is.
Hello, you got Dirt Green here.
Dirk, I'm sorry, say your name again, please. Dirk? I can't hear you.
G-R-E. It's Dirk
Okay,
Green.
do you have that, Louis?
Yeah, do you have can you turn on your video?
I think he's
on.
on there.
Yeah.
Oh, you have a different name. Okay, I
Would
see.
you raise your hand?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Raise your hand, Dirk. Okay. Do you both swear and affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? So say
I do.
I do.
I do.
I did.
Thank you very much. Okay. Let's go ahead. We can hear from the applicant then.
Okay, my name's Tom Branham with Branham Sign. And we originally worked off the design with the building size and stuff to try to complement. And we know there were some questions about the size and so forth. So we do have a second option just in case, but we feel it's a little bit smaller, but I'd like to show it to you and see what you think. I don't know if you can.
Can we arrange to do that, Louis? Oh, I see. And tell us what those dimensions are as opposed to the original application, Tom.
So these would be an 80-inch wide by 32 foot, 8.5 tall.
What's the original application then?
The original application was
96.
91.5 by 37 foot 5.
And
And
this
I
is
don't know if you can kind of see how, in proportion how it looks on the building. It looks much smaller compared to the size of it. But I wanted to show this just in case.
Can I comment on that at this point?
Yes.
I really like what you're showing, this second one. I think it's still bold and dynamic, but I think it just works better with the spaces and with that side wall. I just feel it has a more comfortable fit.
Okay.
And I had another question with the red building, the brick building. Are there any windows that are on the side of that building that are facing the signage directly, or is that wall, completely just a solid wall?
It's a solid brick wall. There are your unit door openings. I think two of them are. I'm sorry, one per floor. We'll open up and see that, but there's no window view there.
Okay, thank you.
What's your thought on how brightly this is illuminated?
Well, these are actually reverse halo. So there's no projection through the face. They just glow around the edge.
Okay. So during the day, you'll see the red letters or numbers in this case, and then at night you'll just see the halo effect.
Yes, it's just a soft halo around it.
And
it's a
how do you
5500
modulate
Kelvin white.
The amount of that color then on the halo effect?
What's that? I'm sorry.
I'm just wondering, how do you gauge the brightness of the halo effect around it?
The letters are spaced off the wall 2 inches, and you're only going to get about a 3 to 4 inch span around the letter.
Okay.
Why does it have to be so big?
That was just to keep it proportional with the building and to kind of complement it in size. I mean, when you get down to smaller, it looks like it's just postage stamp stuck on there. It doesn't fit the building.
Well, it's an address sign. I'm not sure it has to be 20 feet tall. I don't know what the other commissioners think. I think it's huge.
It's more than the address sign. It's actually the logo, you know, and it's the name of the project.
I was going to say, that's the way I took it, that it's a brand, it's a name of the project. And so I did see it as more than an address. So, but I was a little concerned about it as initially submitted. I am inclined to like the second option that starts to bring the scale down a bit without it becoming too small.
Yeah, I like the fact that it is kind of a bold statement. I mean, I could go with either one, but just the smaller one would be fine with me.
And yes, I know I said this before, but I'll just say it now since we're all talking about it. I agree. I like the one that is smaller, and I do see it as a branding, almost, you know, like something that is a dynamic graphic. So I'm okay with being large.
Yeah. Okay. Could I, I'm kind of hearing a little bit of a consensus emerging out of the mist here. Could I have is there a motion? Would someone like to make a motion?
I move to approve the smaller sign.
Is there a second for that, please?
I'll second.
Are there any other questions, comments, thoughts?
I have a question since I'm going to have to double check this. So what are the exact dimensions that we're approving of the smaller sign? I haven't seen that yet.
Tom, can you read that back for us?
Yes, the letters are 80 inches wide, and the overall height is 32 foot 8 and a half. I don't know if you can
I can't
see it.
Can't see that.
That's the overall dimension of the entire graphic, correct, Tom?
Correct.
And what's the height of each individual letter, please?
84 inches.
Each individual letter is 84 inches.
Yes.
And what's the height of the entire sign?
32 foot 8
32 feet.
and a half.
How
That's the
big is the ampersand then, or the @ sign?
It's 84 inches.
Also 84.
Okay.
Well, you'll
What's
send that in, Tom, right? You'll send that into
Yes.
Lewis.
Yes.
Yeah.
I can
I'll
send
make
it as soon as we're done.
Okay, there is a motion here. Any other comments or questions from anyone? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? That motion carries, Lewis.
Okay.
Okay, thanks very much.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, guys.
Bye.
Next case, please, Lewis.
Yep. So the next case is at 222 Nielsen Street. This is the location on the map right here between East Long Street and East Spring Street.
We're not seeing your screen, Lewis.
I'm sorry.
We're seeing you.
There we go. Better? Okay.
Better.
So here's a location. It's off of McKee Alley and Nielsen Street. This is the location right here. This building kind of set back in the parking lot. So the applicant is proposing renovations to a 2-story brick structure. They are seeking approval for new windows and lighting, brick repointing, painting the canopy and railings, and installation of a canopy mounted graphic. The existing white vinyl windows on the east, west, and south elevations will be replaced with black aluminum Traco storefront windows with integral muntins. The canopy sign will be non-illuminated extruded aluminum numbers measuring 12 inches high and say 222. Details on the lighting and paint is provided in the packet. The guidelines state that building materials should be of high quality and durability, and commercial signage should communicate simple, succinct messages in an aesthetically balanced manner. The proposal is generally consistent with the guidelines. And I did do the site visit here. So here, this is the building just north. This is the actual building that they're going to be working on right here. You can see it's kind of recessed behind the parking lot. These are the windows that are going to be replaced, the railing that's going to be painted, the canopy that's going to have a sign mounted to it. Here's an up close of the windows, the railing.
Does the railing stay or is that replaced as well?
It stays, it's being painted.
Thank you.
Then here's the back of the building. You can see these two windows up here will also be replaced on the south elevation. And then here on the east elevation, the windows on the second floor are going to be replaced. The glass block windows on the first floor are remaining. That's it.
Do you have an elevation drawing or an architectural drawing of the there we
Yes. Yep. So here you can see these are the windows that are going to be replaced. Here's the west elevation, east elevation. Here we have a window section, south elevation, and then existing pictures. Here are the colors and the lighting that's going to be done. Wall-mounted cylinders. You can see the type of windows that they're going to be installing and the colors and the window system. And with that, I think the applicant is here as well to present.
Okay. Who is here for the applicant, please? Troy?
Yep, Troy Brummel. From
Anybody
WSW.
else here? Anybody else with you, Troy, today?
No one that'll be speaking.
Would you raise your right hand? Do you swear and affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? If so, say I do.
I do.
Thank you very much. Go ahead.
Yeah, so as Lewis said, this is another project we did from right around the corner that you guys saw last month. A similar brick structure, and we're doing similar renovations, replacing the existing windows, as Lewis mentioned, putting in the same style windows that we proposed on the last project from last month at 278 North 5th. So black storefront with the external side mutton to divide down the window. Leaving the existing canopy and railings and just painting them black, replacing existing wall-mounted lighting on that west elevation. Really just trying to clean up the building.
The existing railings go black then too, Troy, is that right?
Yep, the railings and the canopy are already black and we're just repainting them.
From my standpoint, I think this is actually, I think it'll look nice. I think it's better.
Absolutely. It's a great improvement of a mediocre building. So it really looks, I think it's going to look great.
I do too.
Troy,
Go ahead.
one quick question. When you talk about the exterior side muntin, it looks like from the drawings that there is a depth to that it's not flat. It does have some type of a dimension. Is that correct?
Yeah, if you were to zoom in there, the window openings are divided into 3 window sections with regular size mullions.
Mm-hmm.
And then the muttons further divide down those panels, and they have about a 1/2 inch depth to them, and they're about 3/4 of an inch wide. So they have a small amount of dimension to them, and will give a little bit of a shadow line.
So they are real muttons on the outside of the window then, is that correct?
Correct. Yeah.
Are they metal or is that plastic or fiberglass?
No, it's aluminum.
Aluminum. Okay, great. Any other questions?
Looks good.
That's great.
What's the pleasure of the group, please?
I move approval.
There's a motion. Is there a second, please?
Second?
Okay, Jana, thank you. The motion is on the floor. Now, any other questions or comments? Anything from anybody? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
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 Those opposed? That motion carries. You know what? Maybe this raised the hand, just so we've got 5 people saying aye at the same time. That's a good thing. You did it. I think Lewis got it. We're all on that one.
Yeah, I got it.
That's probably a good way for us to do it.
Yeah.
Thanks very much.
Yep, thank
Roy,
you very much.
Okay, next case then.
All right. So the next case is be at 550 West Nationwide Boulevard at Crew Stadium. I believe we all know where the location is of that project.
Yeah.
So the applicant is proposing to enlarge a plaza at the northwest corner of Crew Stadium site and is seeking approval for design, landscaping, and lighting. The plaza will include tree canopy, seating areas, lawn, and hardscape, and will increase in size from 19,500 square feet to 29,000 square feet. The plaza will serve as a district open space, as well as a gathering space during stadium events. The guidelines state that a key element of downtown is the presence of plazas, which provide for the type of informal interaction that enlivens the streetscape. They should be illuminated at night, and lighting systems should be integrated into the overall site design. Integration of landscape and public art is encouraged. The proposed plaza is generally consistent with the guidelines, and the lighting is consistent with what was previously approved. And there's no site visit pictures because it's a construction site. So.
Anybody got any questions on this? I thought it looked great, and I think I mean, in a way, the only slightly sad thing on this is that it's kind of tucked in the back instead of having it right out in front where we can all see it and enjoy it. Got to drive.
Well, they've got one. They've got one there too.
Beg your pardon, Bob?
They've got one in the front too. So
I know they do. Yeah, that's true. Okay.
Well, we have the applicant here as well.
I'm sorry, Philip, are you here for okay, anybody else here for your group?
Jeff
Oh,
Pangonis.
and Jeff, okay.
Good morning, commissioners.
You two, would you
Morning.
please, both of you raise your right hands, and do you swear and affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? So say I do.
I do.
Thank you very much. Do you want to kind of walk us through this thing? And again, I think all the background information we're very familiar with, so we can stick to the specifics on this.
Yeah, I'll be quick. Thanks, commissioners. And again, good morning. Phil Dangerfield is here with me from the crew as well. Feel free to ask either of us questions. Lewis, if you could move forward to the next slide. Commissioners, you'll see in the northwest corner of the stadium, north is plan north. We've made a little jog in the road to add a plaza to the northwest corner. This will serve for two primary functions. It'll be a entry plaza primarily for our supporters, but not entirely. And it will also serve as sort of the heart of the development in the neighborhood. So locationally, that's what you'll see, or that's where you'll see this component. This plan also shows you just a hint of a couple things coming. We're going to propose an alley along inside the development blocks to serve the parking garage in the development and add some on-street parking, but we'll come back to that in a future meeting for your approval and thoughts. Next slide, please.
Hey, Jeff, it's lagging real bad, so bear with me here.
Okay. So I think, Lewis, what we have here, commissioners, is one plan view and 3 images, and I see it's lagging quite a bit, but here's the plan view. You can see right where it says Crew Stadium, that's our entry at this location. Our fans will come in from the west into the stadium, and so we've made this little jog in the road that I've mentioned and added this plaza. Lewis, I think if you scroll to through the next three images, I can talk right through them. Okay. So, commissioners, this is a blend of a facility that has to serve two sort of different populations, right? One is the mass of people that need to enter the stadium on game day, and also it has to have the pedestrian touches and the streetscape functions, fit, finish, and feel that a plaza should have. And so we think we've achieved that. We've got a fairly strong commitment to landscape. Again, we're trying to push forward this arena district quality of a park in a park. And so you'll see a blend of landscape, of turf, of hardscape. We've got a little bit of mounding there. We've been happy to find some of the historic building and bridge abutment stone on site as we've done excavation out there for the project. And so we're folding some of those pieces in as pedestrian seating and just some elements of interest. They sort of look like hay bales on your screen. Apologize for that. But anyway, here we are. So materials and lighting, all the same products that you have selected before. Louis, I think these technical drawings are really just background information. I'd rather stick with the color.
Okay.
The lighting fixtures, there's two of them out there. One is the theater style, the other is the wand light. You've already approved those. And from a both landscape and hardscape perspective, we've pulled the same materials palette. So you'll see the entry here is a blend of gray pavers, a mix, a modeled blend, if you will, and also some broom finish concrete for our primary sidewalks. Otherwise, there are some wood clad benches like we have in other places around the stadium. And we're really happy to present this to you. So with that, I'll take some questions or ask for your approval. Thanks for your time.
I have just a couple of really quick comments. It's a beautiful plaza. I wanted to mention, at least on the technical drawings, it looks like where you have created the grass oval, the lawn, the oval lawn area, and the walkway between that and the wood-clad benches. It seemed a little tight from the not wide enough. And I don't know if maybe that's just, in reality, it is wide enough, but I was just wondering if you could look at it, because it seems that you might have considerable traffic going through there, and it looked like the dimension was a little narrow.
Yeah, good question. So like I mentioned, we're trying to serve two masters here. We're trying to create a big sort of open throat, if you will, on game day so that the masses can come in the stadium, but also, on every other day of the year, we want to be able to create some intimacy. So that little network of pathways there is really meant to create some of that more intimate space, if you will. And Jana, it's a great comment in terms of size and scale, but since most folks will be coming from the south, we don't think that will create, a tight funnel point, if you will.
Okay, that's good. I love the idea that you're thinking about that it's a large scale project, but you're trying to create those intimate spaces, which I think makes it really very attractive.
Good, thank you. Did you have another thought or comment?
I did. Wait, just give me 1 minute to see. Yes, the other one was where you have the lighting. And again, it might also be because you're trying to create a more intimate environment, but it looked like you have the larger poles that are coated pink, and then you have the lower ones that are yellow. And I was just wondering I think you have two large pink ones. In looking at it, do you feel that you have enough lighting covering the whole space, especially more toward the, I guess it would be the west side and the perimeter?
Yeah, another good question. So the commissioners, if you're looking at this plan, I apologize, they're sort of masked, but you have a theater style light on each side of that main entry. And so those theater lights will have just a couple of fixtures each, or 3 or 4 fixtures each, which give us the ability to serve lots of different parts of the plaza with one pole. And then in addition to that, Jana, you can imagine coming in from the stadium, there will be, both sort of direct and some indirect light serving the plaza. So, we feel like we have enough lighting, and our engineers have let us know the same thing. So we feel like we're covered here. And there's, that fine line between just enough and too much light at night.
Jeff, there are street lights along the street too, right?
Yeah, and we will also have street lights, which, Bob, they're probably not showing up on this image.
No, they're not on the rendering, but the standard, you'll have the standard lighting there as well.
That's right. So in addition to the ambient light from the street lights, thank you, Bob, we'll have these two primary plaza lights.
And I assume
Yeah.
street lighting will be both sides of the street as well, right?
That's right.
Okay. Any other questions for the applicant?
Yeah, Jeff, the sidewalk that's along Nordecki Alley, if I'm saying that
Yeah.
correctly,
Yeah.
seems kind of narrow. Is no dimension on it, but
Louis,
you
could you
comment
go
on
to the
that?
plan? Yeah, sure. I mean, to be honest, Mike, since there's a bit of a service area there, we're trying to sort of minimize the amount of people that we encourage to go back that way. But, you know, we also want it to, you know, look like an urban plaza, not like a backyard. So if you see the plan view, or Louis, if you click to the first perspective, you can see what we're trying to accomplish there, Mike. Really what we have is just sort of a little, you know, 2.5 foot concrete band there to hold that landscape off of the curb and just deal with any pedestrians that might be there. But we're really not trying to encourage anyone to head back that direction.
Okay.
I don't know if is that lagging, Louis? Is that what's happening?
I see it. What are we looking for? I see it on my view. What are we looking for?
Can you click one or two images ahead, or I'm sorry, behind?
Oh, I'm sorry. Back towards the beginning here?
Yeah, the first overhead, the kind of bird's eye where you get the view of downtown.
Oh, okay.
Next one back.
Yeah, I thought I was on that one before. There. That one?
Yeah, I don't have it. Yeah, I don't have it yet. But anyway, Mike, I think it's a good comment. We want it to, you know, look urban in nature, but really, like I said, not encourage too many people to go back there. And so we do have a few sidewalks that work for service, access, and you know, we think we've got the right blend.
I guess my only thought there was, you know, is it an accessibility issue if you have passing wheelchairs or something like that? And I agree. I mean, I don't see there doesn't seem to be a real good reason to even have it, but other than to frame that soft area.
Yeah, that's really all it is a frame for that soft area, like you said, Mike. We've got obviously accessible ramping at the intersection there, and we'll have plenty of sort of drop-off area at the auto court at the midpoint of the stadium, which you can see on this image near the bus that's depicted. So from an accessibility standpoint, even though the stadium is elevated in the two south corners, we really have, I think, done a pretty nice job from an accessibility perspective.
Sure. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, other questions or comments?
I think it's awesome.
I think it's great too. I was unable to read the plant schedule there on the thing. Could other people get that? Were we able to see that?
I was separately able to look at it. I thought it looked great, very thorough, very consistent with what they've been doing to date. I think it looks fantastic.
Yeah. Okay. Great.
Thanks, everyone.
Other questions, comments?
Are you adding a traffic light? I know you mentioned that you're reconfiguring the street a little bit to accommodate the plaza. Are you adding a traffic light at the corner?
Yeah, good question, Jana. This will be a four-way stop. It won't really. We don't see a need for a traffic light, and the primary move really is going to be around the block, if you will. There will be very few people ever using that service drive that you see on the left side of this image.
I'd go one step further and say you do not want a stoplight there. For the other 99.99% of the time when there won't be much traffic there. Okay, any other questions or comments? What's the pleasure of the group, please?
I move approval.
Okay, there's a motion. Is there a second, please?
I second.
Who is that, Mike, Ted?
Yep.
Okay, any other questions or comments? Anything from the audience? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. Thanks, guys.
Thank you,
Looks great.
commissioners. Have a
Looks
good
great.
day.
Nice job, Jeff.
Appreciate it. Okay, next case.
All right. This case. Okay. Boy. So the next one is at 72 to 84 North High Street. The applicant is proposing repairs and alterations to 3 buildings located at 72, 78, and 80 to 84 North High Street. They are part of the High and Gay Street Nationally Registered Historic District. The scope of work includes, and I won't get into all of it, there's masonry restoration, window replacement, cornice reconstruction, brick repair, and facade reconstruction on floors 1 through 3 of 72 North High. So these are located, these are the buildings that we were discussing at the last meeting. Get the location pulled up here, where a piece of the cornice had fallen off. Right there at the corner of Gay and High. And the current project has been awarded historic preservation tax credits. And the proposed High Street facade repairs and alterations have been approved through that process pending final reconstruction document review. And also the scope of work was also very similar, was previously approved by the Downtown Commission under 1646, but that COA has expired. The guidelines state that building owners are encouraged to conserve and rehabilitate historic buildings, and that building materials should be of high quality and durability. The proposal generally meets the guidelines and is consistent with what was previously approved.
Okay, who's here from the applicant, please?
Nick Munoz with Myers and Associates. I think Chris Myers is also on.
Good morning, commissioners.
Okay, is Chris on then? Is that a yes or a no?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, good. Chris, we need to see your face.
On.
He's there.
Oh, there. I'm sorry, I didn't see. Would you raise your right hands? Do you swear in a firm testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? So say I do.
I do.
I do. I do.
Okay, and I assume you two are the only ones here for the applicant then, right?
Sorry, Mike Burmeister is here as well with
Mike,
Myers and Associates.
Did you have your hand raised then when we swore in, folks?
I did.
Okay, good. Thank you very much. I think we're all set then. Go ahead. I think let's just say on this, I think this is pretty straightforward. It's basically restoration. So I don't know that we need to do, and it's already been approved, I guess. So let's just kind of walk through what we're trying to do. And if there are any questions, we'll just jump into questions then. So.
Okay, sure. Well, when we were before you in 2016, as Lewis mentioned, it was awarded historic tax credits under a different ownership group. We're now working for Eclipse and Jeff Edwards and his team on this project. In addition to the Gay and High Corner French Bistro that we looked at last month with you guys, and a new construction piece, which is in the parking lot to the north of the White Haynes building. So within that entire development, we've kind of broken it out into pieces. And this piece here, given the condition of the High Street facade, there's some priority to get going on this restoration work to avoid any kind of further deterioration. So I think on the 3 buildings in the photo from left to right in the White Haynes building, it's window replacement and terracotta restoration, some cornice restoration, but then also replication for the piece that had fallen down. The north storefront in the White Haynes building will be a restoration of the bronze glazed condition that's there. And then the south storefront in that elevation will be a new storefront with a historic appearance. So, you know, and that building is in relatively serviceable condition. And moving to the south, the 4-story center building also has masonry and window openings that are serviceable. So there's some repointing of the masonry, but no real significant repair work. So this is window restoration on the upper floors, a new cornice to match the appearance of cornices that we've seen in historic photos of this building. And the 2nd-story window is actually intact. It's kind of behind some steel framing right now, but it's again restoration and reglazing of an existing wood window with a new aluminum storefront at grade. And the 72 North High building has the most significant amount of structural rework, just based on some of the things that have happened to that bottom 3 stories over the years. There have been several renovations and new openings that you can see kind of the remnants of in the existing photos. So in this area, the lower 3 stories are structurally rebuilt and clad in a kind of cast stone rusticated base with 2 stories of new masonry to match the existing masonry on floors 2 and 3. And from floors 4 through 6, it's again repointing, tuck pointing, and window restoration, in addition to a new cornice to replicate historic photos.
I think this is an awesome project, and didn't we have a proposal at one point to eliminate the middle building?
Yeah.
And very pleased to see that that's no longer the case. Also, this is an excellent set of drawings. It's really easy to follow what's going on, and it was very helpful to be able to see all that. You've only been working on it for like 14 years, so you know it.
That's about right.
This current design has been approved through the part 2 at the SHPO. Is that correct?
Yes, it's been through the part 2. There's some interior modifications that we have to go back to them for, but the exterior is as it's been approved.
Okay, and what about, does this go to the Historic Resources Commission, Louis?
Not unless they're seeking a local designation.
Okay. I think it's an awesome project, and I'm prepared to move forward on it unless there's somebody with comments or questions.
Let's just get it on the table here, then, Bob, and we'll circle back on questions or comments.
Okay, I move approval.
Is there a second, please?
Second.
Okay, so there is a motion on the table. Any other questions or comments? Anybody have anything?
I just have it's just more just for my information. On the 84 building, you mentioned that the cornice, the terracotta cornice might have to be replaced. And if you replace it, will you be replacing it with a metal, or will you be using terracotta again?
Well, I mean, I think the intent, and we've been working with Kuhn Restorations on this. We've been up there in the past couple weeks on a boom lift. Everything is intact. It's the replacement piece would be just the one that fell off. So I think the process is to maintain in its entirety the cornice that's there, and we will need to make a cast of of like make a mold and then make a new piece to fit back in. And that would probably be in like a fiberglass or a material that's moldable. That I don't think we can get the terracotta piece at this point, unfortunately.
Sure you can.
Well, it's definitely something that would be beneficial. We can explore it for sure, but the intent, hopefully, we've kind of determined that everything can be maintained that's in place right now.
It's great.
And I wanted to say I really appreciate that you're looking at those old historic photos where you are rebuilding a piece or trying to get part of a building back to its original. So it's a fascinating project.
I think, yeah, those are great buildings. It's a nice little piece of fabric, and it really does fit, even though these are different age things. That fits with the corner there at Gay Street too. That building, and it's going to be fun to see that transformation on what was the Madison's building here with whatever they had going on there. So, well, hey, by the way, I'm curious, how do they hold those cornices up on those buildings if you've got those big? They've got to be very, very heavy. The terracotta cornice on the top of some of those buildings. How are they attached? And again, that's an information question, I guess, more than anything.
Yeah, I mean, generally the particular cornice on the White Haynes building is a two-piece cornice. So it has kind of an L-shaped piece that is built into the masonry wall. Yeah, and then the top of it cantilevered out.
It's wire tied and grouted in.
Huh.
Yeah.
And
but it works by gravity. I mean, as well. It's like any other masonry piece does.
Right.
Okay. All right. Good. Any?
Those are ties in it.
Okay.
I have a quick question, if you don't mind. The building, you're proposing windows on the north facade of the White Haynes building. Is that correct?
Yes.
Who owns the property to the north? What would happen if that was redeveloped in the future?
It is the same owner, and our next submittal to all of you will be the new building that's proposed at that site, the 90 North High.
Oh, fantastic.
11-story new build.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Okay, any other questions? Comments? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye. Raise your right hand.
Aye.
Your hands.
Aye.
Okay, those opposed? That motion carries. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, commissioners. Have a great day.
You too. Thanks.
Thank you.
Next case.
Okay. So we had a couple cancellations, applications withdrawn for this month. So the Troutman building, that was withdrawn. So the applicant is going to try. I sent them the conditions of what was approved, and they had misunderstood what was approved previously by the commission. So they think they can work with what was approved. And the conceptual review was also withdrawn as well. They're going to be coming back next month. So the last case of the day is at 517 Park Street North.
Mr. Chairman, I'm sorry, Louis. This is Ted. Mr. Chairman, I'll be recusing myself from this case.
Okay, let me note that. All right. So here's the location. It is right off of Park Street and Spruce Street, next to the interstate. This was previously approved by the commission several years ago now. And what the applicant is proposing is it's for the AC Hotel. This is in the downtown district and the North Market Historic District, so they have an application going through HRC at the same time. The proposal includes landscaping plans for the streetscape frontage along Park Street and Spruce Street, a north tenant patio, a pocket park at the northeast corner, and a surface parking lot behind the building. The guidelines state that landscaping materials should be of high quality and durability and should be compatible to the subject building. Now, with parking lots or surface parking lots were adjacent to a public street, the best practice is that they're screened with a masonry wall between 3 or 4 feet in height, or masonry piers and decorative metal fencing between 3 or 4 feet in height, set within a minimum 3-foot planting bed. Applicants may propose an alternate, and in this case, the applicant is proposing a mix of sea green juniper, Manchurian cherry, and Princeton elm to provide screening. So the proposal generally meets the guidelines with regards to landscaping, but it does not meet the guidelines with regards to parking lot screening, unless the commission decides to approve their what they're proposing, their alternate. And I think we have a speaker here as well for this proposal.
Okay, who's here for the applicant, please?
Nick Munoz again, and we have Doug Boyer as well.
Okay, anyone else for the applicant?
Chris Myers.
I'm
Chris
here
is
as well.
Okay, and you and Nick and Chris have already been sworn in. Doug, would you raise your right hand? You swear and affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So say, I do.
I do.
Thank you very much. Okay, go ahead.
Thank you. I'm going to just walk through this site quickly here. It's, I think Lewis ran through the general gist of what we're providing. But from west to east, I wanted to discuss the parking area, parking treatment. He did note that we are not providing a masonry wall along Spruce Street. We are, however, using large evergreen junipers as well as shade trees to screen that parking and those headlights. And the reason for not providing the masonry in this particular case is that there is a building under development for this site, which I believe has been brought to your attention previously as part of the original submittal, that will take the place of this parking lot. And so if a masonry wall is installed here, it would likely be removed in the near future. In addition to that, we are still providing shade trees, screening in every direction, as well as bollards along the entry to separate the vehicular access from the building due to the close proximity. And if we go to the next page, we're also providing a restaurant patio on the north side of the building that we are screening heavily with evergreen trees from 670, as well as from the utility enclosures, the service enclosures, the northeast corner of the property. 2 of the 3 of those are existing. They're the ODOT enclosures there and are really an eyesore. So we've tried to screen those as much as possible, both from that tenant patio, but also from Park Street itself. We're providing a small pocket park with varied seating options. Within it, an accent tree that is uplit with bullet lights. And this really functions as both a place of respite from Park Street itself, as well as a waiting room for the restaurant patio behind it. Lastly, there's the small entry courtyard along Park Street that is made up of a dark gray manganese iron spot paver with a red brick outline. The dark gray is largely to avoid clashing with the varied facade bricks along this historic frontage, and the red bricks are there to match the Columbus streetscape standards, exactly to try to refer to the streetscape beyond.
Okay. Would you, on the first section there, show us where there's a section of wall that sticks out behind the hotel building? Just remind us where that is, please.
You know, I forgot to mention, Steve, I took some site visit pictures if you'd like to see it. It kind of shows that section of wall as well. So, of course, this is just the main facade. This is where the park area to the north is going to be. You can see it's got some mechanical equipment there.
Mm-hmm.
This is going to be the area he's speaking of with the patio. This is the street, and this is the section of wall. So they retained this old this facade of this building here. This is going to be the entrance to the parking lot. This is where the parking lot is going to be behind the building. There's going to be a vacant lot just to the west of this parking lot, and you can kind of see the border there with the with 670. And that section of wall is right here on the south, I guess, this corner, the southeast corner of the parking lot.
Good. Which provides an entry, kind of the car entry for the hotel there.
Yeah, that's the portal for the hotel drop-off, which is actually in the back of the building.
Right.
And it's just to the right of those shade trees that Doug was showing.
I think the guidelines that we have for parking were designed for a parking lot on a vacant site in the middle of the central business district between buildings and that sort of thing. And this is sort of on the edge. And I think they're doing a lot with this parking lot to make it look decent and to fit in. And I don't have any issue with it not having a masonry wall around it.
I do too.
I had a question about the juniper you're using. I think the one that you've labeled JPS on the plan, and it says it's a 36-inch spread. Does that mean the width, or does that mean all around that does also include the height of it?
It's a good question. It's the 36 inch is just referring to the specified width when installed. They will likely get even taller than that.
Okay, so they will be at least 36 inches, or they might get taller than that.
Correct.
Okay.
Any other questions? The dark paved area that's the entry on Park Street, right?
Yes.
In front of the building there. Okay, where you go in, kind of where again you left a section of wall there.
Correct. There's kind of a staggered wall that intersects this with the.
And you go in between the two buildings, and the one building is set back a little bit. Okay. Are there any other questions or comments for the applicant here? Thoughts? Someone want to make a motion, please?
I'll move approval.
Okay, so there's a motion. Is there a second, please?
I'll second it.
Okay, there's a motion and a second. So there's a motion on the floor. Any questions, comments, anything for the applicants? Okay, all those in favor say aye.
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 Those opposed, same sign. That motion carries. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
I think we let
Thank
you
you.
guys off a little too easy today.
We appreciate it.
Well done. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next case, please. Anything? Oh, we done, Lewis?
That's it. We just need approval of the minutes, and then we'll discuss the award ceremony real quick.
I think didn't we approve the minutes right up in front?
Not the minutes, the staff approved applications. I apologize.
Okay. Do we have, let's take a quick look at those. Any questions on those? Oh,
I move approval of the staff approved application.
okay. Is there a second on that?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And you are going to bring back, you're going to bring in for us to see the locations on these bicycle facilities, and right, Lewis?
Yeah, that's right. I've asked them to submit that and for the entire commission to review. So they should be here at the December meeting. I'll work with them to get their materials in order.
Perfect. Are there any other questions for Lewis then? We've got the Harrison Smith event coming up, and I guess it's going to be virtual this year. I am going to be out of town. We've got a wedding anniversary coming up. We've had a little trip, so I'm going to be unavailable. So if one of you folks can carry the ball on this, Bob, do you want to do it, or Otto, or?
Well, why don't we ask Otto if he'd like to do it? He's the vice chair, and if not, I'd be happy to do it.
Okay, we'll go that direction then, Lewis.
Okay, so it's going to be all virtual, but if whoever's going to announce the winners will have to attend the meeting itself.
Okay.
Are we all okay with that, considering COVID and everything? Bob,
Why
are you
can't it?
comfortable?
No, I'm not.
Okay.
I've been like chained to my desk by my nurse wife.
You're in good care then.
That'll teach you to marry a nurse.
That's right.
So
But
that's the only caveat, is that you'd have to be in person. I don't know if anyone's comfortable with that.
Why can't it be virtual? I mean, they're going to do a virtual meeting.
I don't know. From the beginning, they said that it's not going to be that kind of virtual. It's just going to be broadcast virtually. But anybody who wants to present an award or speak has to be there in person.
Okay, I'll talk to Jane.
We'll, but yeah, okay. And then let's, we'll get somebody to do that. Okay, good. Anybody, any other issues then?
We're working on the, I think we have all the information from Lewis on, the participants, so we can make the awards.
Yes.
And I don't think they're made yet, but they're in the hopper.
Okay.
Just give me enough time to run that past the mayor's office, because they're going to want to take a look at those.
Well, they're not going to sign each one, are they?
No, I don't think so, but they want to take a look at them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, what happened on the East Broad Street application? Was that withdrawn?
Yeah, both those applications. Well, yeah, the East Broad Street application was withdrawn. I forwarded the letter from the landmarks individuals, both to you and to the applicant, and they want more time to adjust to their concerns.
Okay, good.
Good.
Okay, good. Well, great. Anything else?
That's it.
Anybody? Hey, I still
Good
think
meeting.
in the back of my mind, we need to be thinking about some kind of lighting standards. And I'm just thinking about two things, maybe brightness, and maybe the other thing is some kind of a canopy so the light is sometimes directed down, and in other words, just kind of controlled. And I don't know if we really have that in our guidelines, do we?
We don't have them in the guidelines. I know the city did a large code revision regarding lighting, and they got into, they all geeked out on luminaries and candle power, all this kind of stuff for measuring lighting. So if we want to draw off of those and incorporate those into our guidelines, that is a possibility.
I'd be happy to look at those things. My only problem is if I look at them and they give me a bunch of standards, I'm not sure I know what those are.
Right. But if you want, I can do a little digging and present something to the commission.
Sure. What do you think, commissioners? I think.
Let's see what the city's done as a starting point.
Yep.
Yeah, we could get a copy of those to review.
And do we want them to come and explain what it is, or just look at it first?
Well, let's see what it is first.
Okay, Lewis, get it. We'll distribute it, and we'll go from there. Good.
Sounds good.
Anything else? Well, happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Stay safe. Nobody on our group has had the virus yet. Is that correct so far?
No.
So far, so good.
That's right.
Good.
So
Everybody.
Anniversary, Steve.
Everybody in my household had it except for me. So,
Right.
yeah. So, yeah. By the way, back in March that was. So, okay. Well, have a great Thanksgiving. It's going to be a little different this year.
That's for sure.
That's for sure.
Good to see everybody. And again, one more time, thanks very much.
Happy Thanksgiving,
Thanks, everybody.
Happy Thanksgiving. Thank you.
You too, Chris, Nolan. Thank you. See everybody.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Bye-bye.
Okay. Still morning.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks, Nolan.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.